welcome. I don't know how many people is joining after seeing a paragraph I posted on Discord. Though if you're lurking, I must warn you. The disclaimer I put at the that I just got off from, put on the stream. I have to warn you. There's going to be some content in here that may not be suitable for a young audience. Now, I don't want to have to age restrict. I do want to expect anybody that's watching this take this seriously. So, this game is called Lynne. Lynne here is not our protagonist. However, our protagonist's name is Lynne. So you'll see the picture right there with the game logo, stuff like that, that girl. She's not the protagonist. She does play a large role in this game. So, I'm going to start this game. There is going to be some suggestive themes in this game. You are dealing with a teenager and young adults in this game. And a father who doesn't really know how to be a father. Deals with some serious topics. I did play through the whole entire game. Alright. Alright. When I regain consciousness, I realize I'm in a public bathroom. But it's not a normal public bathroom. Oh, let me see here. I didn't even adjust this. Okay. Hold on. I need you to see the top of the screen. A little bit. Oh, I want a little bit more. Okay. That should be good. The bathroom seems to extend outwards forever, infinitely, like an optical illusion. The dim light bulbs are suspended on flimsy plastic strings. They gutter in and out intermittently, unsure of themselves. My head feels heavy. Why does it hurt so much? I sigh and hold a hand against my temple. I can feel it pulsing beneath my fingertips. Gross. Human bodies really are gross. They're bags of flesh that contain all sorts of stuff. Bones and blood and guts and goo. With hearts that beat and lungs that shudder and bladders filled up with amber urine. Thinking about it makes me want to dig my fingernails deep into my skin and dig it all out. But I bet that would look gross too. Maybe I should pull my eyes out first, so I don't need to see all the blood as it splatters on the tiles. But if I know anything about biology, which I don't, I'm rubbish at school. Blood doesn't stay red for very long. When it's exposed to the air, it oxidizes, I think. And then it starts to turn brown. Then it turns black. I try to imagine what it would look like if this endless, dingy bathroom was stained with my blood. I don't feel anything in particular. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel bad. Maybe that's because it hasn't actually happened. It's nothing more than a silly fantasy. My head is still hurting. My footsteps fall against the floor. When did I start walking? I don't know. I feel like I've been walking for years. The walls and the floor and the stalls and the sink and the dryers and the bins and the mirrors continue to repeat over and over again in a loop. A stuck videotape. We still have some of Jazz's old videotapes from when she was a kid. It's mostly Disney stuff. Cinderella and Snow White. My parents aren't too well off, so we had to make do with our battered old VCR long after DVD players became the norm. Our VCR was like a monster. It made horrible noises whenever you put a tape in there, and it had cannibalistic tendencies. It liked to spit out tapes with the film reels leaking out. When I was young, it used to scare me a little. Lots of things scare me. I turn my head, glancing this way and that. There are 5 sinks lined up neatly against the wall, complete with silvery taps and soap dispensers. Somebody's stolen a roll of toilet paper and left it soaking in one of the basins. The paper flops limply over the side of the bowl. It's a bit sad. The taps are turned off, but water still drips from their faulty heads. They're leaking. The lone roll of loo paper is starting to turn soft. It's collapsing in on itself like something rotten. I keep walking. I walk past the sinks. At least, I think I walk past the sinks. But when I turn my head, I can see them again, right in the corners of my eyes. 5 sinks, chipped and cracked, with soap dispensers and the same roll of toilet paper lying in the rightmost basin. The roll of paper is still being waterboarded by the faulty tap. I walk by, trying to ignore it. When I glance to my right once more, there it is again. 5 sinks. 5 basins. 1 roll of toilet paper, decomposing slowly. The toilet paper looks worse every time I see it. White paper begins to flake away from the cardboard skeleton. It melts away. I feel like I'm melting away too. I don't know how long I've been walking. My feet are cramped inside my shoes. My toes are pushed up unpleasantly against the tips so they rub red raw. That's when I realize I'm wearing my old white heels from Aunt Shirley's wedding. Not her last wedding. The wedding before that. I must have been 9 or 10 back then. I'm 15 now. And my feet have done a fair bit of growing. No wonder these shoes hurt so much. My feet weren't made for them. Not the feet I have right now, at any rate. Why am I wearing them? It hurts, but I keep walking. I can't not keep walking. I'm afraid something bad will happen if I stop. Suddenly, alarmingly, I'm aware that I'm not alone. There's something behind me. But I don't know what that something is. I look back over my shoulder. My breath catches in my throat. Everything has been swallowed up by a musty, impenetrable darkness. The darkness smells like the inside of a walk-in wardrobe that hasn't been walked into in a very long time. I tremble. My footsteps strike against the tiles over and over. My heart beats inside my chest and knocks against my rib cage. My feet hurt. They hurt so much. I think they've started to bleed. Sores and blisters run along the backs of my feet. I can feel welts in the grooves between my toes. They're all bursting. Give it time, and my blood will turn burgundy, then dark red, then black. Aren't burgundy and dark red the same thing? Everything in here is the same. Everything repeats over and over again. The light bulb, the stalls, the sinks, the taps, the toilet paper, the dryers, and the tiles, and the mirror, and the mirrors? There's something strange about the mirrors. But, no, it isn't the mirrors. It's the girl inside them. My white shoes slosh when I come to a halt. Everything smells. It smells of mold and urine and my own bodily fluids. The girl who looks back at me in the mirror. Her fingers gripping the rim of the sink so tightly the knuckles turn white is in me. I stare. She stares back. Questions run through my head. Where am I? How did I get here? What is this place? I was me when I first started walking, I think. But the more I walked in these two small shoes, the less like me I became. I started to change. I just didn't realize it. Not until I saw myself in the mirrors. This girl. I reach forwards. My fingers brush the surface of a mirror. It's sticky, and it makes me feel sick. But my feet are sticky too, so it doesn't matter. The girl looks like me. She has the same hair, the same eyes, the same nose, the same ears, and the same lips. But she isn't me. My muscles tense beneath her skin. Her face responds. It smiles when I smile, frowns when I frown. This face is mine. But I know it isn't. It can't be. I'm not her. She's not me. Lynne? When I speak, an alien voice comes from my mouth. My breath catches in my throat. And then I feel something brush against the back of my neck. There's nothing in the mirror, but there's something behind me. I don't know what it is, but I know it's something cold. Even colder than the roll of toilet paper soaking in the sink on the far right. I don't know how long it's been soaking for. I don't know how long I've been here. I don't know how long I've been her. I don't know anything really, but I do know that this is it. The end. Alright, time to go for a raid. There'll be no more repetitions. No, it was a joke. No more walls and floors and stalls and sinks and dryers and bins and mirrors. There's just me. Me and the darkness, and the bad thing that lurks within it. Behind me. Breathing against my neck. Welcome home, Lynne, seems to say, with invisible teeth encrusted with algae. We miss you. But that's not fair. They've got the wrong girl. I'm not her. I'm not. I'm not Lynne. Hey, Squirt. Rough night? I root through the bread bin, unearthing the last 2 slices of Warburton's half and half. Naturally, they're the crusts. The cast off nobody wants. I glare at Jazz. She's sitting at the kitchen table, eating her own slice of toast. Not the crusts. She saved those for me. Oh, thanks a lot. No problem, honey. Why are you so selfish? I wonder. Maybe because I'm a horrible person. Well, I know that. I slot my bread crusts, into the toaster and sigh. Oh, what happens if you just throw the crust of the bread in a toaster? Don't you just get fire? I feel worked up. I've been worked up ever since I woke up. I was worked up when I was brushing my teeth. I was worked up when I was combing my hair. I was worked up when I was putting on my skirt and sliding on my socks and buttoning up my shirt. I'm worked up as I wait for my incredibly appetizing breakfast to finish toasting. I fish a knife from the cutlery drawer and peer inside the inner workings of the toaster. I peer a little too closely. Actually, my hair nearly gets caught inside it. I draw back, startled. Jazz snorts. Well done, genius. Shut up. I stick my tongue out at her. She sticks her tongue out too. I glance back at the toaster, but I don't lean in quite so closely this time. I tap my feet against the floor and sigh. Why is it taking so long? I don't understand why it's taking so long either, Lynne, because it's only crust. There should be a fire by now. You going anywhere in a hurry? I have to go to school. I don't know why you're so eager. I always hated school. That's why you're a dropout. Yeah, but I have exams coming up. I pick up the knife and begin to prod at the tops of my slowly toasting crust. That should be on fire by now. You shouldn't do that. You'll electrocute yourself. Like you care. I do care, actually, and you'll definitely care when 1 million watts of electricity are coursing through your thick skull. No, the most that you're going to get electrocuted by is 240 volts. Not 1,000. Or 1 million, as she says. I'll survive. That's what you think. I think she'll survive from that. From being electrocuted by a toaster. God, why do kids think they know everything? I don't think you have a place to ask, Jazz. I'm not a kid. Please. Jazz tuts and rolls her eyes. She does this a lot. Very effective. Jazz always wears a lot of makeup, and she's good at applying it. Her eyes are particularly expressive. Jazz is pretty already. She doesn't really need makeup, but the makeup makes her even prettier. I kind of doubt that. According to Jazz, putting on her makeup is the sole thing that gets her out of bed in the mornings. I guess there's not much else for her to do. She doesn't have a job. She just sits around the house all day. Makeup is so expensive, what's the point? Sometimes I wish I could do that. No, you don't. You don't. Trust me. I thought you were meant to be smart. I thought you were meant to be the smart one in the family, Lynne. I'm not smart, I suck. Literally? Piss off. Jazz is the one who sucks, and that is literal. The bulge of her belly is proof enough. Not that you get pregnant like that, I know that much. I might be in secondary school, but I'm not thick. Not that thick anyways. The toaster pings. My bread crust pops up like I should be happy to see them. I'm not. Piss off. I poke the crust with the tip of my knife again. They don't reply. Jazz does. Why are you talking to your breakfast, you crazy girl? I thought you said you didn't want to be late to school. I don't. And why don't you get a move on? You'll miss your train. I know. I grab a plate and slide my crust into it. I smear butter on the crust an inch thick. Like this will somehow make them taste better. And a scoop of lemon curd for good measure. The lemon curd mixes with the gooey, bright yellow butter. The end result looks kind of gross, but it tastes fine. I take my plate to the kitchen table. I stumble on my way there, twisting my ankle in thin air. I curse beneath my breath. Shit. Hey Lynne, are you sure you're okay? You seem a little out of it. A little, I guess. Bad dream? Yeah. Bad doesn't quite cover it. Terrible, more like it. My feet still hurt. I checked them when I woke up this morning, trembling to see whether they were still in one piece or not. I was afraid they'd be bloodied stumps, the little bones all broken from being forced into shoes too small for me. They looked fine. That was 10 minutes ago. What about now? My toes curl against the inside of my shoes. Jazz stares at me. Does she think I've gone totally mental? It's too early to tell. Maybe I have. You were tossing and turning like the girl from The Exorcist this morning, Lynne. You woke me up. So that explains why Jazz is up so early. She doesn't usually surface until gone noon. She doesn't have to. Not since she dropped out of sixth form college. All she does is practice her makeup in front of her vanity mirror. Our vanity mirror, actually, since we share the same bedroom. Eat cereal and watch the Jeremy Kyle show. I stare at my crust stare back, slathered in butter and lemon curd. My stomach churns. I'm sorry, Jazz. It's alright. I already had my revenge. The bread. Jazz coils a strand of hair about her finger. She looks smug. So, what are you going to be doing today? More studying? Don't mention the S word. Now you've got your GCSEs coming up in, what, 3 weeks? You better get cracking. That's going to be the whole gist of the game. I bit into my crust, smeared with butter and lemon curd. The butter is sweet, oily, and fatty, while the lemon curd is sharp and sweet. It's thick, sticky. It feels like it's clogging up my throat. Maybe I put a little too much on. You know, Mom and Dad expect a lot from you. Don't let them down. I feel sick. I definitely used too much lemon curd. Jazz, please. What? It's the truth. After I turned out be such a monumental fuck up, the least you could do is not fail all your GCSEs. You're supposed to be the smart one, remember? That's what they say, but... My voice trails off. My cheeks are smeared with toast crumbs and bits of lemon curd. They feel oily. I swallow. I don't want to talk about it. Well, you'd probably be fine. You'd have to try to do worse in your GCSEs than I did. Yeah, but it's different now. You could retake your exams. I can't. Sucks to be you. Jazz sounds so cheerful, it kind of makes me want to punch her. But I know I can't. Not anymore. We used to fight a lot when we were younger, with hair pulling and scratching, but now Jazz is pregnant. I'd feel a little guilty about slapping her. What, you can't slap a pregnant woman? You can't hit pregnant women. Who says? I mean, if one is beating the hell out of you, I think you have the right to defend yourself. Even if that pregnant woman is your sister, who isn't really a woman. No, I still think she might be a woman. She is pregnant after all. I don't think she is anyways. She's only 19. So young. Inexperienced. Still has a whole lot to learn. She's still a teenager, technically. Yeah, well, she might still be a teenager, but she's been through a hell of a lot more than you. I clicked my lemon curdy tongue against the roof of my mouth. I should probably get going. You probably should. Don't drop out of school before your exams start. Otherwise, what would be the point? Sometimes I think Jazz deserves happiness from my suffering. She really is a rotten big sister. That's why she's a big sister. She's always been like that. She used to bully me relentlessly when we were little. She was always kicking me beneath the dinner table, hitting me with the TV remote, and whispering creepy stories into my ear at night when I was trying to sleep. She told me Santa wasn't real when I was 4. About that. I have my own theories about Santa Claus. I cried. I cried a lot. And then she went and got herself knocked up. And now she's so heavily pregnant, I can't argue back when she starts being a bitch because I'd feel guilty. Maybe she's smarter than her GSE results give her credit for. I drop my plate in the sink. It's coated with crumbs and smear buttery lemon. What are you going to do all day, Jazz? Watch the Jeremy Kyle show, probably. Don't you ever get sick of that? Nope. I don't like that show. I think it's mean. It's the sort of show that makes fun of people like Jazz. The audience watches these poor, sad, broken people pour out their guts and argue with each other and break down into tears, and then they laugh and cheer and applaud like it's something funny. That's the Jerry Springer show. It isn't funny. It's real people's lives, and I hate it. No, it's 100% scripted. I can tell you that. But Jazz doesn't seem to care. I know it's mean, but I'm not on that show. Why does it matter? I run my dirty plate beneath the lukewarm water and frown. It just isn't very nice. It's a scripted TV show. Get over it. Says you, didn't you give that girl in your class a black eye a few months ago? She deserved it. She called you a slut. She might have been right. She might have been right, actually. Jazz prods at her belly. It strains beneath her shirt like a large, obscene balloon. Maybe I am a slut. This is why I can't argue with Jazz anymore. Not even when she steals my apricot yogurts. She doesn't fight back like she used to. The wind tugs at the hem of my school skirt. I hold it down with one hand and use the other to support the straps of my beat-up old messenger bag. My bag's falling apart, and it doesn't close properly now, but I can't afford a new one. I'll have to bear with it, just like I have to bear with Jazz hand-me-down uniforms and these old scuffed trainers. At least they're not the shoes I wore to Aunt Shirley's first wedding. I clicked my tongue against the roof of my mouth. Why am I still thinking about that dream? It must have left an impression on me. That's rare. I have bad dreams on an almost daily basis. The details start slipping away the moment I open my eyes. Definitely unusual for me to still remember. Not just the gist, but the specific ins and outs of my dream while I wait on platform number 2 at Strawberry Hill Station for my train. There are a few other people waiting, glancing alternately between their watches and the electronic signboard. Rush hour in London is never pleasant. The trains are always packed. I hate going to school, especially with a bulky messenger bag to manipulate. Once, I hit a small child in the face with my bag when I was scrambling onto the train. He cried, and his mother started scolding me very, very loudly in front of all those smart businessmen. What do you think you're doing, you clumsy girl? His nose is bleeding. You could have caused some serious damage. What do you have to say? By the end of this woman's tirade, I was almost crying too. I couldn't cry, of course, because I wasn't a little kid. And people don't think it's cute when teenagers cry. They think it's pathetic. I was 13 back then. I'm even older now. I don't feel any wiser though. My GCSEs are coming up soon. Then I'll be finished with school for good. I won't need to ride on the cramped train at 7:30 in the morning ever again, unless I decide to go to college like Jazz did. I don't think I'd go to the same college as Jazz though, because she was studying health and beauty. That's a vocational subject. I think Jazz is pretty good at health and beauty, especially the beauty part. She knows all about getting your nails trimmed and how to curl people's hair. But Dad wasn't very happy about it. He kept banging on saying she was wasting her life, wasting her education. We've given you so many opportunities, and you just fling them back in our faces. Why can't you be more like your sister? I don't know why anybody would want to be like me. I don't want to be like me. But at the same time, I glanced to the right. I half expected to see a glint, metal taps in my peripheral vision, complete with basins, but I don't. Instead, I see a girl around my age, but not quite my age. I know her. We're in the same forum group. We've been in the same forum group ever since I started at Gray's Court School. She's a girl who looks a lot like me, with straight black hair and brown eyes. But there's more to it than that. It's the arrangement of the features on her face, and the shape of them too. Her eyes, her nose, her ears, her lips. She looks so much like me, it's a little creepy. She looks so much like me that Mrs. Madley, our form teacher, did a double take when she saw us in our oversized gray court uniforms on our first day in year 7. She asked us, in this very exaggerated tone, if we were twins. Like being a twin is something special. We're not, of course. We're not related at all. Well, we're probably related in some way if you go back far enough, but the blood ties between us are so weak, they'd be about 99 point... Yeah, water. No, that's not how genetics work. No. Because even if there was a 0.1% blood connection to you, you would not be considered related. It doesn't help that she has the same name as me. A similar name, at least. My name is Lynne. She's called Lynne. She's me, but a me who reached into the Scrabble box and pulled out an extra vowel. Her name would be worth more than mine if you tried to play it on the board. She has some problems. Like, she's so much better than I am. And in a way, I guess she is. Her school bag is nice and shiny. So are her shoes. Her uniforms are always ironed, and her tights never have any holes. She's like me, but better. Lynne with an E. She'll probably do better in her GCSEs than I will, too. That's a given. Lynne is really smart. I look at her. I look at her for a little too long, as I often do, and she lifts her head. Her eyes meet mine. Her gaze hurts. I feel like a needle is digging into the back of my skull. A short, sharp pain splits to the sides of my head. I wince. I know this is going to sound petty, but I really, really hate that girl. Hey Lynne, guess what Aki bought me? I don't know. What did Aki buy you? Well... Susie smiles smugly, her head resting on her hand, her elbow resting on the desk. Her legs are crossed, but she keeps uncrossing and recrossing them and adjusting the hem of her skirt. Susie's kind of like that. She's one of those girls who's lucky enough to be considered kind of pretty, despite all her freckles, and she likes flaunting it. Her face is nice, I guess, but I think her thighs are the prettiest part of her body. Her thighs are slender, milky, and white, and she wears her school skirt a little too short so she can show them off even in the winter. I'm kind of jealous. Susie's cute enough as it is. Even her name is cute. Though her full name, Susanna, is a little stuffy. She doesn't need to make herself cuter. Being her friend is kind of bad for my self-esteem. She's had way more boyfriends than I have. It's not fair. Not that it's hard to have more boyfriends than me. I haven't had any. That's not much of a competition, is it? Like I said, I could ever compete with Susie. He bought me a maid uniform. A real maid uniform. Oh, really? That's cool, I guess. Try to sound enthusiastic. It's hard work. I've had to listen to Susie talking to me. Talking at me, more like. About her dreamy Japanese boyfriend for the last month and a half. Aki. She met him online. And she was doing a live stream. He contacted her and said he could compose music. And he knew a little bit about idol culture, and if she was really serious about being a performer, then he could be her manager. Now he's dating her. Well, dating is the loosest possible way since he lives in Japan and we live in Richmond. It is cool, right? I'm going to wear it on one of my live streams. Neat. Yeah, I picked the outfit out myself. It's kind of expensive, but I mean, Aki has money, so... Susie smiles and shrugs her shoulders coyly. Having a rich boyfriend must be nice. Must be nice having any boyfriend, full stop. Though I guess Aki is more of a man than a boy, and he lives so far away, he and Susie have no hopes of ever kissing and cuddling. Well, all the boys in our year group are stupid. The boys in our form are especially brain dead. Bradley Hurd tried to give himself a tattoo with his protractor and a blue biro pen in math. He managed to give himself a makeshift tattoo, a lopsided wonky one. But he also gave himself blood poisoning. Craig Bentley's always making lecherous comments and trying to peer up girls' skirts when they walk up the stairs. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. In fact, I hate them. Girls my age are meant to be interested in relationships, I think. That's what all the teen books and movies say. I'm not, though. Maybe there's something wrong with me. That's what Jazz says. She had a lot of boyfriends when she was my age, too. But I don't think she ever really liked them. Sometimes I try to imagine it. Letting a boy like Bradley or Craig touch me with their dirty, smuggy fingers makes me feel sick. If I had a boyfriend, I think I'd rather have a boyfriend like Aki. Who lives so far away, I'd never have to worry about him peering on my skirt or trying to grope me. Not like anybody would want to. Aki's so generous. Susie's still stuck in La La Land. She's moaning. She's mooning over her boyfriend like he's the second coming of Christ. I can ask him to buy me anything, you know. Literally anything. He just jumps at the chance, like it's some huge honor. Asian guys are always so eager to please. I think it sounds weird. Oh, Lynne. Susie touched. She looks sympathetic. You'll understand when you start dating. Stupid boys like Bradley and Craig are rude and mean and make gross comments, but real men know how to treat their girlfriends right. Why's that? Because they know they're lucky to have us. I mean, look at it this way. I'm a cute young girl. I'm in the prime of my youth. He, meanwhile, is in his 30s. Yeah. Well, he says he's in his 20s, but I don't believe it. I've seen the photos. He's old. He's not really super attractive. I think he's cute, but there are way better guys out there. Why should I be interested in him? Because you like each other? I guess, but that's not it. It isn't? Of course not. Don't be daft. It's about give and take. He wants a cute young girlfriend, and I want somebody who will spoil me, buy me nice things. Everybody does. But what do your parents think about Aki? What they don't know doesn't have to hurt them. Aren't they suspicious about all the packages he keeps sending you? You worry too much, Lynne. Susie looks at me pityingly. She always looks at me like that, like I'm slow in the head. So what if she had a couple of boyfriends? That doesn't make her more mature than I am. But judging by the way she talks, you'd think she was far older. You should have a little. You should live a little. That's why you've never had a boyfriend yourself. I don't think I want one. You will. Give it time. Like it's a foregone conclusion, Susie starts peering at her fingernails. She turns them this way and that, examining them beneath the light of the classroom. Her fingernails are perfect, just like the rest of her. They're manicured, painted with new gloss. She never ever bites them. Who has the time to worry about their appearance that much? Susie, I guess. Susie's been doing live streams from her bedroom for a couple of years now in her attempts to become a Japanese idol, an English angel with white skin and blue eyes. It seems to be working out for her. I think she's actually pretty popular. Not that I watch her streams. It'd be kind of voyeuristic, I think. And anyway, who wants to watch their best friend since kindergarten wearing cat ears or a kimono? I guess she has a new costume in her repertoire now, courtesy of her boyfriend/manager. Good for Susie. At least she's happy. She looks happy anyway. And isn't that basically the same thing? Alright. Dad and Jazz are arguing again. I don't think it's Jazz's fault. She probably didn't want to argue. Least of all with Dad. Jazz used to bully me a lot when we were little. I don't think she's a nasty person. Not really. Even if she is, she certainly wouldn't try to pick a fight with her dad. Dad's a lot bigger than both of us. And he's scary too. He'd be scary even if he didn't have such a quick temper. Dad's shoulders are broad and his hands are very large. They're scarred from years of manual labor. He works in construction. Has done ever since I can remember. It's kind of good Dad works in construction. Usually he's too tired and dusty to do anything other than sigh and grunt and lie on the sofa watching the TV when he comes home from work. But that's just most of the time. Not all the time. Sometimes he comes home in really foul moods, his hands cracked and muddy, palms bleeding, and then he starts shouting. He never starts shouting right away though. He's always quiet at first, like a volcano before it erupts. That makes it even scarier. Dad isn't a bad person. He doesn't mean to lose his temper. I don't think he wants to shout at Mom, or insult Jazz, or make me cry. He does it because he's stuck in an exhausting job he doesn't like, but he never went to college, so he can't get anything better. According to Dad, the job market's in the shitter right now. His words, not mine. And there's no way he can even hope of getting anything halfway decent. That's why he keeps telling me I should study. I have to do well. I have to succeed. I have to make him proud. I think what he really means is, don't end up like me. That's why he got so angry at Jazz when she broke the news about her pregnancy. Maybe he thought it was some kind of failure on his part. Or maybe he thought he'd done everything he could for us and Jazz was throwing his efforts back in his face. He's argued with Jazz on an almost daily basis since then. Jazz isn't meek like me. She doesn't get scared easily, so she always argues back. Dad started to have to go at Jazz as soon as he got home today, and then she tried to defend herself, and things got worse from there. Mom asked Daddy to stop, but he just shoved her away. Stay out of this, Marigold. It has nothing to do with you. Mom tried to say it did have something to do with her, because Jazz is her daughter, and then Dad gave her this look and Mom did herself away in the kitchen. Dad and Jazz are still arguing even now. I can hear them downstairs, the voices echoing through the house. So, you just sat at home and did nothing again? You're wasting your life. Well, what do you expect me to do? I'm 6 months pregnant. I don't want to risk hurting the baby. The baby. It's always baby. You should have thought about that before you gave yourself the first man that asked. I already told you it was a party. I was drunk. That makes it all better, does it? I wasn't saying that. I don't want to hear it. I didn't raise my daughter to be a slut. Wish the walls in the house weren't so thin. I can hear them yelling even though I'm in the upstairs bathroom. A bedroom? Bathroom? Did I say bathroom? I think she's taking a bath. I think the neighbors can hear too. We've had noise complaints more than once. The arguing got so bad at one point Jazz moved out to live with one of her friends for 3 weeks. Mom cried and thought she'd never come back, but she did. Dad cried too. He hugged Jazz and called her his baby girl and said he was sorry. He was so sorry. He said he'd never shout at her like that again. He was wrong. I stare at the ceiling. The beige paint is peeling and mold is sprouting in the corners. The water, now lukewarm, pools around my body. The tap is faulty and it drips over and over again into the already overfull bathtub. It's not loud enough. Not loud enough to drown out the noise. There's always so much noise. I sink back into the tub, submerging myself completely. I want to hide from it all, everything. There are rolls of fat on my tummy. My legs need shaving. They're nicked here and there with small scars from my last attempt. I have PE tomorrow. It's my least favorite lesson. I can't stand it. I don't like getting changed in front of my classmates. I always worry, compared to everyone else, that my body looks all wrong. I close my eyes. The water flows above my head. It warms its way inside my ears. It's harder to hear Dad and Jazz like this. The sound is disoriented, like it's happening on an alien planet millions of light years away. I think I'd prefer that. I'd like to live in space if it meant I couldn't be alone. No Dad, no Mom, no Jazz, no Susie, no Lynne either. I wonder what Lynne's house is like. I bet it isn't like this. And next, we have number 86, Miss Harper. Will you please step onto the stage? I want to obey the disembodied voice, but I can't. My legs are trembling like a baby deer's. My heart is pounding. I can hear them all. The crowd, they're cheering. It's so loud it hurts. Oh boy. They're getting more and more excited. The previous act is ushered off the stage. The red X that marks the spot is free. Waiting. I feel sick. Why did I sign up for this? I don't think I did sign up for it. It must have been Susie. We saw an advert on TV a while back and Susie said it was a great opportunity. You wouldn't want to miss out on a shot at stardom, would you? She asked. I would, very much so. I don't like performing in front of other people. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not pretty like Susie. I'm not self-confident. Not anything, really. Why am I here? I want to turn around and leave. But I've already come this far. I can't back out now. The roar of the crowd is almost deafening. Miss Harper, will you please step onto the stage? The disembodied voice calls to me again, crackling and distorted. Sounds impatient. The crowd are getting impatient too. So's Susie. She's standing behind me. When did she get there? And she pushes me between my shoulder blades. Her eyes are narrowed. Come on, Lynne. We worked hard for this. You can't back out now. I don't know. I'm nervous. You can't be nervous. Not after we worked on your choreography. And you have such a cute outfit, too. Be ashamed not to flaunt it. Cute? I'm not so sure. This outfit would probably look cute on Susie, but it doesn't look cute on me. My skirt is too short. It's several inches above my knees. If I moved around too much, I'll be in serious danger of exposing my underwear to the entire nation. What was I thinking? I never think. The longer I stand here in the wings, paralyzed with fear, the harder and harder it gets for me to think until I start to unthink. Everything I might have thought is slipping out of my skull, like somebody drilled a hole into my head. Susie, please, I can't. You have to. Aki composed this song especially for you. Aki? I glance over Susie's shoulders. Aki's there. Because of course he is. He was always there. He came to see me because he composed a song for me, and now I have to dance to it. He's in his 30s, but he doesn't look that old. Though, when I squint, I can see small lines beneath his eyes. His teeth are a little yellow too, and there are blemishes across his skin. I can't imagine Susie dating somebody like this. But he is rich, so... And your mother made your costume. You can't let her down. That's right. That's right. I made it just for you, darling. Mom? Don't look so surprised, dear. I wanted to come and cheer you on. That's right. You can do it, Lynne. And Jazz? Jazz is here too? Why wouldn't Jazz be here? If Aki's here, who I'm sure I've never met before, makes sense Jazz would be here too. I'm not sure about Dad, but maybe he was so ashamed at the thought of his favorite daughter making a fool out of herself on national television that he couldn't bear to show up. I don't think I blame him. Miss Harper, if you are there, will you please come onto the stage? The audience are stamping their feet against the floor. I can hear them. They stamp over and over again. It echoes inside my skull. My heart pounds harder and harder. You can do it, Lynne! Don't back down. You're meant to be the smart one. I've always wanted at least one of my children to amount to something. Hey, what about me, Mom? But You worry too much, Lynne. You need to live a little. That's why you've never had a boyfriend. I feel like I'm going to be sick, and maybe Susie's right. I do need to live a little. I can't give up before I've tried. I breathe in deeply and square my shoulders. My stomach's churning, and I think I'm going to be sick. But I try to suppress it. The show must go on. The show will go on, whether I want it to or not. The lights on the stage are far too bright. The roar of the crowd is deafening. I feel like I've been tossed off the side of a ship. I'm drowning in sounds and sensations. There's so many colors. I can see the white lights flickering inside my eyelids when I blink. The stage is the only thing that separates me from the crowd. They could swarm forwards and pull me down at any time. Hurt me, trample me, break me. I shiver. Susie and Aki and Jazz and my mother are waiting for me in the wings, just beyond the plush red curtains, but I've never felt so alone. My fingers tremble. My makeup is starting to run. I'm sweating foundation and eyeshadow and mascara like some sort of clown. A circus freak. The crowd goes wild. So, Ms. Harper, will you please introduce yourself? What brings you to Searching for the Stars? I need to lift my head. Stop looking at my feet. Doubt I'm making a good impression. My grip above my microphone spasms. When did I have a microphone? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm Lynn Harper, and I'm 15 years old. I go to Gray's Court Secondary School, and I'm not that good at anything. The audience laughs appreciatively. But my friend Susan made me sign up for this, and she put together a routine for me, so I'm going to sing and dance. Alright, do your best. Yes, thank you. The music begins to play. It's a song Aki composed for me. But there's something wrong with it. It's muffled and distorted. Like it's playing from the bottom of the ocean. Thousands of beady, unblinking eyes are trained on me. They all want to see me fail. Maybe this is what I deserve. I watch Britain's Got Talent and the X Factor in the living room with Jazz sometimes, whenever they're on, and we're always snigger obliquely at the crap acts. The old woman with false teeth who can't sing. The stunt artists who tripped and fall over their own feet. The comedians who can't get a single smile, let alone a laugh. It's just a public exercise in meanness, really. It's a way to mock and belittle those who dare to think they have talent. But I don't think that. I know I don't have any talent. I'm just Lynn. Plain Lynn. I don't even have an extra E at the end of my name. And speaking of which, there's a girl in the audience. I recognize her. She's sitting between the two dark and shadow figures without eyes, or nose, or ears, or mouths. In contrast, this girl's features are very sharp. Her eyes are awfully familiar. So is her nose, her mouth, her ears, her hair. She looks just like me, but she isn't me. She can't be me because I'm up here and she's down there. Lynn? The music continues. I stand there, feeling stupider and stupider with every passing second. I sweat makeup. Animal fat rolls off my skin in gobbets. The audience are getting restless. They start calling out to me. I can't hear what they're saying. I'm glad too. But I get the general gist. They stamp their shadowy feet. They point with their shadowy fingers. They shout with their shadowy mouths. Get her off the stage! She's not doing anything! What a waste! A waste! I really am a waste. I feel faint. I think I'm going to collapse until a strange, scuttling sensation begins to creep. No, not just creep, caress my body. The touch is almost intimate, but in such an incredibly wrong way it makes the hair stand up the back of my neck. What's happening? There are feelers all over my body. Or maybe they're not feelers. Could they instead be legs? Yes, legs. That's what they are. Hundreds upon hundreds of tiny insectile legs. They trail down the small of my back. They probe the dark crevices of my belly button. They squirm against the insides of my thighs. They're everywhere, all of them. Horrible, horrible monsters. My body is crawling with dozens upon dozens of millipedes. Where did they come from? I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever find out. The audience are laughing. The sound threatens to burst my eardrums. I have very narrow ear canals. Mom said it was a medical condition. It runs in the family. I can't deal with all this. These disgusting, filthy, horrible creatures. I try to bat them away, brush them off. A few millipedes fall from my thighs. They land upside down on the wooden stage. their legs squirming pathetically in the air. Hundreds upon hundreds of legs. I step on them. They burst, leaking black insect fluid all over the wooden stage. The audience laughs harder. They're pounding their feet against the floor. The stage seems to shake. Why are they enjoying this so much? What did I do wrong? No matter how many millipedes I shake off, my body yet more spawns to replace them. They're endless. They continue to wriggle and writhe, covering every inch of my body, between my toes, against my armpits, even inside my mouth. I choke, gag, thousands of tiny legs, even thinner than pipe cleaners, try to prise my lips open. I can feel them wriggling against my tongue. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to vomit millipedes all over the stage. Everybody's going to see. They're going to laugh. Everybody, except her. She won't laugh. She'll just watch and stare. She won't do anything to help me. Why should she? I've never tried to be nice to her. Why would she be nice to me? Aha! I can't keep upright. I fall to my knees, squashing several wriggling millipedes beneath me. There are more and more of them. They're not just crawling against my skin, over my brow, inside my bra. Instead, they're inside me, inside my mouth, beneath my eyes, secreted away inside my veins. I'm choking, I'm drowning, I'm dying, and everybody laughs. Hey Lynne, you finally woke up. And good God, you look awful. Morning, Sleeping Beauty. Did you have a good night? Oh, I blinked. I think I might be staring. There's somebody in the kitchen. I didn't expect to see this sleepy Monday morning. Jazz being awake is unusual enough, but it's the person sitting beside her that really makes me stare. It's a woman with dark skin and shockingly pink hair. Her face is comprised almost 50% of metal. She has enough piercings to set off the security system in any airport across the world. I can't even count the number of piercings she has. There are probably almost definitely more than I can't see. This woman is called Vaughn, short for Yvonne. She's Jazz's older, kind of creepy friend. Vaughn hardly ever comes over. Dad doesn't like her. He thinks she's bad company. I'm not sure if I agree or not. Vaughn is pretty cool, but she's also rather scary. I think I last saw Vaughn 4 months ago. She said she'd become a Wiccan. It is spelled right. Okay, I didn't see the other C. She asked me if I wanted her to read my palm. I don't really believe in palm reading, but Vaughn is very, very convincing, and I was a little afraid that if she saw the imminent end of my life in my hand, it might come true. Hey there, Vaughn. I give her a shy little wave. Vaughn laughs. I don't know if I want to impress her or try to hide from her. The two conflicting emotions war inside my head. That's probably why I'm clinging to the side of the kitchen door like a lizard. bad enough that I just got out of bed, but I'm still wearing my pajamas. My hair is all messed up too. And what's new with you? Jazz is right. You don't look so hot. Oh, nothing really, just bad dreams. Yeah? Must have been pretty awful. You look like a zombie. Thank you. Coming from a woman like Vaughn, I think that might count as some sort of compliment. Maybe? Is it cause of exams? I hear you have your GCSEs in a few weeks. I could be. It's a little stressful. Gotta be hard, being the smart one in the family. Not really. You're smarter than me. Well, that's not exactly hard, is it? Hey, don't be a bitch. Jazz tries to give Vaughn a show, but Vaughn avoids her easily. Being quite heavily pregnant with a round stomach like a cannonball, Jazz can't really counter. All she can do is tut. And why aren't you at school, little miss? It's gone 9. It's study leave. Oh, I remember that. You always get study leave around about the last month of year 11, huh? Yeah. That takes me back. It's been so long, I almost forgot. I meant to stay at home and study, I guess. That's why I'm in my pajamas. I don't need to get dressed yet. At least, I didn't think I did. If I'd known Vaughn was coming over, I might have cleaned myself up a bit. Well, don't stay up too late. You'll get pained eyes. Despite being so scary looking, Vaughn's actually pretty nice. She did let Jazz crash on her sofa for a few weeks after the whole debacle with Dad. Then again, Jazz did get knocked up at a party Vaughn held at her house with all her weird goth friends. So maybe she felt responsible? Whatever. I don't really understand Jazz's relationship with Vaughn or how they became friends in the first place. But it's not my place to pry. All I know is Jazz and Vaughn has been friends for almost 6 years. Vaughn's 27, I think, so they must have met when Jazz was 13 and she was 21. That's a bit weird, but they've always gotten on pretty well. I don't think they're dating, but Jazz likes to make jokes. I'm pretty sure they're nothing more than jokes, but with Jazz, it can be hard to tell. I glanced at the bread bin. Plastic bag of Warburton's half and half is all but empty, with only 2 slices remaining. As I thought, they're the crusts. Thanks, Jazz. Thanks, Vaughn. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not hungry anyway. I sigh, closing the bread bin with a dull thud. Jazz blinks. Don't you want to eat anything? No, I'm fine. You'll get sick if you don't eat. You're already so tiny. I'll be alright. Memories of my dreams still linger in the corners of my mind. I'm afraid that if I put any food in my mouth, it'll suddenly transform into a squirming mass of spindly legs. I still feel sick. I need to get out of here. The kitchen is stifling. I'm actually going to see Susie. Are you going to study together? Something like that. Alright, whatever. Jazz gives me a lazy wave, her free hand resting against the bulge of her belly. She always seems to have one hand pressed against her belly nowadays. Maybe she's trying to communicate with the alien life form growing slowly inside her. Or maybe she's trying to stop it from bursting out. That's a scary thought. Even scarier than Vaughn. Have a good one, Lynne. Don't stay out too late. If Dad gets back and you're not here, he'll go ballistic. I know. I know only too well. We are sorry to announce that the train departing from Platform 2 to London Waterloo is delayed by approximately... I heave a sigh and glance at the electronic display board. The train times blink up, bright orange against black. Susie lives a couple of stops away. It should only take 5 minutes to get there, give or take, but there's some kind of holdup. None of the trains are running on time. For London, that's actually pretty rare. People always joke that it'll be the end of the world before trains start arriving on time. Whoop, I hit that button a little too quickly. Even when they aren't. There are so many other trains and buses that follow similar routes, it doesn't really matter. I wonder if somebody threw themselves onto the track. When there's a big delay like this, that's usually the case. It's a fact of life I've been aware of ever since I was 5. That's actually kind of depressing. I frown, tapping my foot against the platform. A bag of chipsticks roll past me. It bounces by in the breeze. The packaging glimmers in the sun. There are enough bins around. Why do people litter? Are they really that compelled to cause petty crimes? Oh well. It's got nothing to do with me. I glance up and down the platform again. It's a lot quieter than it usually is. I managed to miss rush hour. The businessmen I'm so used to are already at work. There are just a handful of stragglers like me, mostly dressed in casual clothes. Most of the pedestrians milling about, glancing at the train times, seem to be around my age. They're probably in year 11 too. We're all on study leave until the beginning of June. And speaking of people my age, I see a girl. A very familiar girl. A girl who looks a lot like me, but at the same time decidedly isn't. She was in my dream last night, watching me with cold and impersonal eyes while I squirmed. She looked tidy and presentable, as per usual. Her black hair is neat and straight. She's wearing casual clothes, but she manages to make them look sophisticated, like a model in a fashion magazine. I wonder how expensive her clothes are. They probably cost much. Much more than mine. Lynne catches me staring and blinks. She looks at me, tilting her head to one side. Is she going to come over? Does she want to say hello? I hope she doesn't. I'd rather swallow a sewing needle than speak to her. I never talked to Lynne in school. I certainly don't want to talk to her outside of it. Why is she at the train station at this time anyway? She doesn't have any friends to visit. I know, because she's been in the same form group as me since year 7. Maybe Miss Madley thought we'd get along since we look so similar. I've never seen her talk to anyone. She just sits by herself staring out into space. Not that she seems to mind. What a weird girl. I really can't stand her. In fact, I think I hate her. But I've said that already, haven't I? I just can't believe it. Susie sits on the edge of her bed, clutching a pink heart-shaped pillow tight over her chest. Susie's chest is bigger than mine. Maybe that's why she's so popular. Sometimes when I look at Susie, I can't help but feel jealous. She's not just bustier than me, she's prettier too. Her clothes are nicer, her parents are richer. Susie's bedroom is really, really cute. It's pale pastel pink with a few stuffed toys lying on the bed and a rose-shaped rug on the floor. Susie's bedroom is a little childish, in a way, but I think it suits her. It must make a perfect backdrop to her live streams. What does she do during her streams anyway? Does she talk in Japanese and do cute dances? I don't know. I don't really want to know either. But Susie's expression right now isn't very cute. She's angry about something, positively fuming. How could Aki ask me to do that? That's so degrading. What did he want you to do? All kinds of things, like, stuff on webcam, this and that. Susie grips the pillow even tighter. I don't know much about online relationships or offline relationships for that matter, so my advice might not be that useful, but you're not even old enough, right? But like that matters. Get with the times, Lynne. Am I really that outdated? It's not my fault. It's hard to keep up with the current trends when I don't have a laptop. Not like Susie. There's a computer in our house, but it's an old and boxy and from the 2000s. It takes forever to start up, and the internet connection is always guttering on and off. So she's talking about a Windows XP model, which, don't get me wrong, Windows XP was one of the best ones next to Windows 95. I've only ever used it for homework. I'd certainly never use it to try and have an illicit relationship with an Asian boy, man. Rather on the other side of the world. Jazz would find out, or worse, Dad. And how embarrassing would that be? But it doesn't sound like Susie wants an illicit relationship either. I don't know much about it, but wouldn't doing things on a webcam sounds a bit sad, doesn't it? They were certainly never taught about it in sex ed. Well, yeah, there's nobody actually there, so you need to imagine a bit. At least I have a good imagination. Susie throws a pillow to one side and adjusts her pigtails. She strikes a pose. I'm everybody's cute little sister, Suzume. That's her stage name, but can you really call it that when she doesn't perform on a stage? Her stage is her bedroom. We would call that an online name. I clap politely all the URL is what you is just the website domain. This is what she goes by when she does live streaming, so that would be her online name or online persona. I clap politely all the same. I don't know why. I feel obliged. When you do that, you sound like a completely different person. It's part of the act. Everyone loves it. Susie rolls her eyes. I think she's wearing false eyelashes, circle lenses. Everything about Susie seems a little too big and not entirely real. It's like watching an actress on TV. I thought Aki was different, but maybe he only likes me because of Suzume, too. But he's writing new music. Yeah, not for free. Guys don't help cute young girls out for free. Don't? Of course not. People are always thinking about themselves. Not that I'm much better. I mean, I'm using him too. Susie sighs. There are strings attached. You mean you have to do this and that? Yeah, this and that. Susie lies down on her bed and stares up at the ceiling. She must be musing up her pigtails, but she doesn't seem to care. The cute little sister Suzume is gone. Now it's just Susie. It was always just Susie. I don't mind playing around with him that much, I guess. It can be kind of fun, and I like the attention, but I don't know. You can go too far. Did he make you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, I mean, I'm on my period. Why do you want to do, intimate things? Susie makes little quotation marks with her fingers. I guess there's a limit to how intimate moments can really be when you're separated by thousands of miles of ocean. When I'm bleeding profusely, my stomach hurts. Oh, I look down on my thighs. I start to blush. Did he want to see? Yeah, he always asked to see. I said I didn't wanna, but he was so insistent, and I was like, whatever. If it'll make you shut up. I don't really care, but it's gross, Susie pulled a face. I felt fine at the time, I think. I don't know. I didn't really feel good. Well, whatever. He seemed to be enjoying himself, and I told myself it was fine so long as one of us did, but Susie bites her lower lip. It's very soft and shimmery. She must be wearing lip gloss. I don't know. When I woke up this morning, I felt kind of, I can't explain it, dirty. She holds her pillow even closer to her chest. She's still staring up at the ceiling. Her hair fans out about the bed like a halo. I don't want to do it. So why? I didn't want to do it, so why did I agree to it? Why did I let him push me around like that? I'm not a pushover. I'm good at sticking up for myself usually, so I don't get it. He wasn't even here. It wasn't like he could make me do anything. There was nothing he could have done, really. Maybe you felt like you had to? Why did you say that? Well, he is a lot older than you, and hasn't he been doing you all those favors? He bought you a lot of expensive clothes. Yeah, I guess. That's what I thought. Maybe. I think he did a lot for me, so... Susie shakes her head. That's dumb. I don't owe him anything. I don't think so either. Especially not when I'm on my period. No way. Guys are stupid. They don't understand how girls feel. Shouldn't he feel flattered I'm going out with him at all? Whatever. Susie suddenly gets to her feet. She throws her heart-shaped pillow at her bed. It hits the headboard with a dull thud and falls limply against the pale pink mattress. didn't bring you here to talk about boring shit like this. Lynne, you're going to be my camera woman for the day, alright? Alright. I've been practicing a dance lately. It's pretty popular. I should be able to rack up a decent amount of views on Nico Nico if I record it. And I want to do it outside too. Outside? Yeah, outside. You got a problem with that? Not really, but I've been Susie's camera woman for the last few months. Ever since she started to gain some serious traction online. It's not a very lucrative business, not. It's a very lucrative business, not. Susie learns the dance, puts on a cute outfit, and then we go out into her back garden. Susie performs while I film her, trying to stop my hands shaking with an old Canon camera that used to belong to her dad. Susie's dad goes bird watching sometimes. There's an abundance of old unused cameras lying around Susie's house. She makes good use of them. But I've never filmed Susie beyond the boundaries of her back garden. Are you sure this is fine? Yeah, it's fine. I have no problems with it. Videos are more popular if they're done in public. Like at a park. The scenery's nicer. These kinds of videos usually get more views. You can pull people in on the shock factor too. Like, I did this cute anime dance in public. My goodness. I guess Susie's done her research. Beyond her little sister Suzume persona, Susie's pretty calculating. She'll do almost anything to boost her views and increase her fan base. I'm impressed, but if you dance outside, people will stare at you. So what? A few stares won't kill me. They might insult you. I can deal with it. But if they throw things... People don't throw things in Hyde Park. It wouldn't be respectable. I feel like pointing out that most young girls don't dance to cute Japanese songs in Hyde Park either. But I don't. Instead, I say my voice unpleasantly whiny, even to my own ears. Hey, don't you Susie me. You're not the one who has to dance. I am. They won't say anything mean to you, but you don't have to. I do. It'll be good for my career. I'm trying to make money out of this. It's not all fun and games, Lynne. I can deal with it. After talking to Aki yesterday, I've had it up to here. Susie gestures to her neck. With gross guys. If anybody's rude to me, I'll make them regret it. I'm not sure how Susie will make them regret it exactly. She's taller than me, but she's not that tall. And she's so skinny too. But Susie's quite fierce. For a few moments, she has me convinced. She's dating a guy who's in his 30s. She must know what she's doing. Right? I'm lying on my bed, not doing anything in particular, just staring at the ceiling. I should probably be studying, but I can't even bring myself to look at my textbooks. The mere thought of cracking them open makes me feel ill, so I don't look at them. I keep staring at the ceiling. I think about Susie. I think about Aki. I think about Jazz. I even think about Jazz's unborn baby. I wonder what she's going to call him. Jazz had a scan a while back. The doctor said her baby was going to be a boy. I asked Jazz if she was going to name her baby after Dad, And Jazz let out this colossal snort and rolled her eyes so far back into her skull I thought they'd fall out. I didn't press the issue, but I decided to take that as a no. Our house is cramped enough as it is. There are only 2 bedrooms. Mom and Dad in one and Jazz and I in the other. I've never had a room of my own. I envy Susie, who has such a nice big bedroom filled with things. She's an only child, and she doesn't have any brothers or sisters to worry about. I'm sure Susie's parents have more than enough room in their house to slot in a newborn baby, but I can't ask them to take in Jazz's kid. I don't think Susie's parents like me very much, let alone my bastard baby brother. That still leaves one question. Where will the baby go? Where will he fit? And what will Dad say when the baby's been born? He won't be able to pretend Jazz isn't pregnant then. Not when the evidence is staring him right in the face. Will he lose his temper? What if he makes a scene at the hospital? What if he starts shouting at Jazz? I can hardly bear to think about it. Maybe I shouldn't think about it. I don't want to, but... Lynne, are you busy? There's a dull knock against my bedroom door. It's Dad. Lynne. Hey, Lynne. He knocks again. He isn't knocking very loudly, but I know Dad well enough to know this could become violent at any given second. I sit up, brushing my fingers through my hair, and hasten to answer him. I'm free. You can come in. The door handle turns. The lock clicks. I swallow. Dad stands in the doorway in all his glory. He's a huge, hulking figure, over 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders and hands large enough to crush whole walnuts. When I was a little girl, I couldn't imagine there existing anybody bigger than him. I was wrong. Dad isn't even that tall, not compared to other people. He's a little above average, I guess, and the muscles he's developed through years of manual labor add to his intimidating physique. But there are bigger men. But I don't live with any men like that. And even if I did, I haven't learned to be scared of them. Not in the same way I've learned to be scared of Dad. Hey, Lynne. But Dad doesn't look very intimidating right now. He lingers in the doorway, his face strangely guilty, like he expects to get scolded. Can I come in? Sure. I scoot to one side of my bed, opening up a space for Dad to take a seat. He does so, but not before closing the door behind him. My fingers curl into fists again, my better judgment. I wonder why. Self-defense? You're not cross with me, are you? I'm not cross. Why? You've been a bit quiet lately, and you hardly said anything at dinner. You hardly ate anything either. Oh? I didn't think he noticed. Thought he was too busy listing all of Jazz's faults and flaws. Rude, ungrateful, careless, irresponsible, inconsiderate, prideful. The list goes on and on. I wasn't hungry. Are you sure? I think you've lost a bit of weight lately. Really? You're Your cheeks are hollowing out. You look like a little skeleton. Maybe it's true. I've suffered from nightmares for as long as I can remember. They've been growing more and more pronounced lately. The nightmare last night about the stage show and the insects was rather tame in comparison. How can I be expected to eat after such awful dreams? I'm fine, really. I'm not hungry, that's all. You're not on some kind of diet, are you? I shake my head. Good. I'm not a girl, but I know you're all into silly stuff like that. Jazz was the same at your age, but now... Dad grits his teeth together for a few moments. I worry he's going to explode, but then he exhales heavily and his posture relaxes. That's not important. We're not talking about Jazz. Let's talk about you. There isn't much to talk about, really. Nonsense. You're my little girl. I really am little compared to Dad. I don't see how my littleness makes me any more interesting, but I keep quiet. It's best to keep quiet around Dad. Your exams are coming up. Nervous? A bit. Well, it's normal to be nervous. I was nervous when I had my exams too. It's part of being a kid. He ruffles the top of my head with a big calloused hand. Feels like I'm being mauled by a crab. You'll be fine though, Lynne. You've been studying, haven't you? I glance at my bedside table stacked high with Jazz's old textbooks that I haven't bothered to open. I swallow. I don't know what hurts more. Dad's large hand on top of my head or the weight of his expectations. Yeah, I've been studying. Good girl. So long as you try your best, that's all I can ask for. I'll try. But I know I don't mean it. Is that what you were doing with Susie today? Love? Studying? Yeah. That's nice. I knew she was a good influence. I'm glad you're hanging out with the right sort of kids, Lynne. Not like Jazz. She was always going off with that awful Vaughn girl. Though she's so much older than our Jazz. I should have been stricter. Told her off enough times, but Jazz doesn't listen. She doesn't, does she? Never has done. Never will. Even when I shout at her. Makes me wonder what the point of it all was. He sighs. What kind of father am I if I can't even discipline my own children? I don't think anybody could discipline Jazz. She's a law unto herself. My wry comment brings a smile to Dad's lips. It's rare that I see Dad smile, but when he does, it's usually around me. I'm not trying to boast. That's just how things are. Jazz never makes Dad smile. She makes him shout and spit and rage. You're right. Totally right. You're often right, Lynne. I don't know. I do. Don't sell yourself short. I was just like Jazz when I was her age. Thought I knew best. Never listened to anybody, least of all my parents. I was a shithead. Made a lot of mistakes when I was raising Jazz, so did Mary. I don't want to make the same mistakes with you. I want you to study hard. I want you to get a good job. I want you to make something of yourself. You know that? Don't you, sweetie? All of a sudden, my throat feels dry. My head pulsates. Full of millipedes is my mind, dear wife. I think that's from Shakespeare. Macbeth? We were studying it in school. At least I remember something. Too bad all the things I remember are completely worthless. But why am I telling you this? You're a good girl, a smart girl. You might not be great at math or science, but I know you'll ace English for sure. Your English teacher always said nice things about you at parents' evenings. Dad ruffles the top of my head. You'll do all right, love. I have faith in you. You'll make your old man proud. Jazz never did, but you're different. I hope you don't let me down. I sigh softly. Vague noises escape from my lips. I hardly sound intelligent, but at least I'm sentient. I know I still exist. It's the middle of the night and the lights are dim and the sky is filled with stars, but I still exist. I don't need to find proof of my own worth from strangers on the internet like Susie does. I don't extort older men for clothes or shoes and accessories online while pretending to be somebody I'm not. I don't want to. I don't think any man, no matter how desperate, would want to go out with me either. I've never been good at playing pretend, not like Susie. When we were little kids, Susie was always the one who created the complicated backstories of our dolls, or divvied up the roles when we played at being happy families. I've never had much of a model to go on. I gasp. I tip my head back. My hair is wedged beneath my head and it hurts a little. It tugs at my scalp whenever I shift, but I try to ignore it. If nobody else wants me, no man or woman, then I can at least want myself. Since I share a bedroom with Jazz, I don't often get a chance to do this. I might as well make the most of it. Jazz is still out. I don't know what she's doing or where she is, but she's probably with Vaughn. Dad was livid when he discovered Jazz still wasn't back home by 11 o'clock. Dad tried to keep his voice down, but I could hear him murmuring angrily to Mom in their room. That girl has no sense of respect. I'll wring her neck when she gets back. The walls in our house are thin. I can hear everything from my bedroom. I can hear the wind rattling my window pane. I can hear the faulty taps in the bathroom. I can hear the humming of the fridge out downstairs. Sometimes I can hear the spring of Mom and Dad's bed creaking. I wish I couldn't. When we were younger, Jazz and I used to giggle about it. Jazz giggled about it rather, and then went on to tell me about where babies come from, exactly what Mom and Dad were doing, in excruciating detail. I told Jazz she was gross. She laughed and told me I was being a baby. Jazz was 9 then. I was 6. I haven't heard the springs in Mom and Dad's room creaking for a while. More often than not, I just hear low, angry murmuring, arguing. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it isn't so quiet. The house is almost quiet now, but it's a deceptive silence that contains something deeper, something darker, the wind outside, the slow, steady dripping of the bathroom taps, the sad, sniffling sounds my mother makes when she sleeps, my own soft sighs. I wonder what I should think about. I don't really know. Anything but Mom and Dad. Susie's told me a little about this before. She's had boyfriends, and now she has Aki. And I've had sex ed classes, but I'm not really good at this. Not good at making myself feel good. I'd look it up online, but there's only one shared computer in the house, and I'm too worried somebody will find out what I've been searching for. I don't want to know what to do, so I grope and poke ineffectually and hope for the best. I don't really understand my body. It's strange and alien. Whenever I shower or take a bath, I try not to look at it too much. My body makes me feel depressed. I thought the teenage years were meant to be the best of your life. Why then do I look so ugly? I don't just look ugly, I feel ugly. Doing this is ugly. I don't deserve to feel good. Maybe that's why it doesn't feel good. Maybe there's too much guilt attached and awkwardness too, because my parents might wake up at any second. Maybe if I whimper beneath my breath, like they do during the sex scenes in all the movies I've ever seen, it'll feel good. But the sex scenes in movies are all staged. Even if they weren't, they usually involve at least two people, and there's only one of me. There'll never be one of me. I'll always be alone. No attractive men will try to proposition me online. They'll never buy me expensive gifts in exchange for long, drawn-out, loveless cyber sex. No boys will try to get me drunk at parties, fuck me in Vaughn's bedroom, then leave without giving a name to their phone number. No guy will want to hold my hand or kiss my lips and say that he loves me because, according to Susie, romance is dead and I shouldn't hope for too much in this day and age. Why else do you think so many guys watch me when I live stream? It's because they're lonely. Maybe everybody's lonely. Isn't that why I'm doing this? I don't know. Doesn't make me feel better. I sound unconvincing. My soft gas are hollow and empty and devoid of emotion. I must look so stupid. I feel stupid. And I'm supposed to be the smart one. If I was more like her, but why am I thinking about that? Tense, my fingers spasm, my back arches. But not because I've managed to achieve climax or anything like that. I don't know what that feels like. Susie says it feels good. I'll take her word for it. Susie lost her virginity at the start of this school term. She's only 15. That's young. Not just young. It's illegal. No, if they're the same age, no, not really. It's especially shocking considering Susie is supposed to be a good girl, who comes from a nice and normal family. Her dad watches birds and her mother translates manuals for assembling TVs in kitchen cupboards. I don't think they ever argue. They don't seem like the arguing sort. But Susie still lost her virginity when she was 15, so maybe that's the normal thing that girls do? I think Jazz was around that age too. But I haven't. I've never held hands with a boy, let alone kissed one, let alone anything else. Maybe I shouldn't try to think about guys. It's not really working. It just makes me feel even more aware of just how alone I am. A girl, then? Should I think about a girl? Susie? No, not Susie. She has Aki. Then... What about the other me? The Lynne with the extra E, whose name would be worth more points than mine on a Scrabble board. Does she know how to do this properly? I doubt it. She's so prim and proper. She never talks to anyone in class. When we learned about sex in class, she faced forward and looked attentive enough, but in this kind of distant way. Like it had nothing to do with her. Like she was never ever going to have sex with any boy. Not like I can judge. But I'll never ever have sex with a boy either. I'm gonna die sad and alone. I hope Lynne does too. Wouldn't be fair if she has a better love life than me. She's already prettier than me and smarter and her family richer than mine. Why does she have to take everything I want? It's not fair. Maybe it's because she comes from a better household than I do. Lynne's shoes are never scuffed. The pleats of her skirt are always crisp and neatly ironed. Could I look pretty like her if I tried? I don't know. Thinking about it, Lynne does have quite a nice body. I wonder what it would feel like if she touched me, if she kissed me, if her tongue was inside my mouth. What would that feel like? I work my fingers around slowly, tracing circles in an intimate place I'm a little too embarrassed to actually name. I've never tried thinking about a girl like this before, least of all Lynne. It's strange. Maybe that's why I'm a little louder than usual. But I can't be loud. The walls are too thin. I don't want my parents to hear me. And it's starting to feel good. And I'm getting kind of wet and that Lynne, what on earth are you doing? Ugh! For a few moments, I forgot about being quiet. The thought goes out of my head altogether. It's hard to be quiet when your big sister is standing in the doorway of your shared bedroom looking at you with evident amusement, with one hand resting against her large pregnant belly. Jazz! I pull my hand away from between my thighs like I've been burnt. I think I really am burning. My face is red raw. It's a good thing I still have the covers pulled up around me, but it should have been obvious what I was doing. You could have not. Sorry, I didn't know you'd be doing that while I was gone. You always seemed like such a good girl. Jazz snickers. She looks wickedly amused, like she's seen something hilarious, like I'm hilarious. Who would ever take me seriously anyways? Oh God, my face burns. I pull my duvet about me tightly. I wrap it around my body like a shield. I wish I could kid myself. It's an invisibility cloak, but Jazz's eyes are still boring into me. Urgh. I can hear Dad shifting around in his sleep in my parents' room. The springs of the old mattress that needed replacing 10 years ago creak. I hold my breath waiting, but after that he falls silent. The soft sound of his snoring permeates the house once more. The tap in the bathroom continues to drip. At least you didn't wake him up. Jazz shuts the bedroom door behind her with a soft thud. Is he mad at me? Livid. Thought so. Why were you out so late anyways? I was at Vaughn's. We were watching Saw. Why Saw? Because it's awesome. I don't think Saw is something pregnant women should be watching. You know, you gotta give credit to pregnant women because they can handle a lot of crap. They should put a warning on it, like alcohol or cigarettes. The baby might be born all messed up. No. Is that how serial killers are made? No. I just meant to watch the first one, I swear. Then Vaughn brought out the second and third, and, well, I kind of wanted to marathon them. Didn't you worry what Dad would say? She's freaking 19 years old! A bit, but I didn't want to think about Dad. I'm an adult. I should be allowed to do what I want. And you want to watch Saw? Yep. It's not even Halloween. Why is that supposed to matter? But I got the fright of my life when I came back. Let me tell you. You're horrible. Jazz snickers again. I'm just teasing. Don't take it to heart. You're a healthy young girl. It's perfectly normal. You'd want to enjoy yourself a little. Shut up. Don't look so huffy. I'm a girl too. I know what it's like. Be quiet. Jazz smirks. Though you did sound a bit like a dying cow. Jasmine! I wanted to shout at her, but I can't risk waking Dad. Dad gets angry enough as it is without being roused in the middle of the night. I hate to think what he would say to Jazz once he sees she's back. All I can do is whisper angrily instead. I'm mad Jazz has taken away even my right to be angry. But I've never been very good at expressing myself. What? I'm just saying. You don't have to say. Well, sorry for trying to give you some advice. Wouldn't you rather it come from me than a future boyfriend? I'm never going to have a boyfriend. Well, your legs are getting kind of hairy. Don't talk about my body like that. Hey, don't sweat it. I'm not exactly rocking a bikini body here either. Jazz pats her stomach. I pout in return as Jazz laughs. She ruffles my hair. Don't worry, Lynne. This is just between you and me. I won't tell anyone. Really? Yeah. Although... What? Jazz prods me in the cheek. You were pulling some weird faces. It looked like you'd been possessed. It was actually pretty scary. My face burned bright red with shame. Everything's made out of concrete. The walls, the floor, the ceiling. It's all dull and drab and gray. Mold sprouts in the corners of the room. It's dark, black in the center, but pales around the edges to a soft, almost pastel blue. The mold would be almost pretty, I guess, if the rest of this place, whatever this place is, wasn't so horribly cold and dank and dark. I shift uncomfortably. My behind hurts. Cold leaks through the back of my trousers. My thighs are turning into ice. Why am I sitting down in a place like this? Where in the world am I? Try to get to my feet, but... A sharp wave of pain spikes through my right leg. It feels like something inside me is jammed. What happened? I look down blinking, half afraid of what I might find, and a soft, pained moan escapes from my lips. My right leg is bent in an awkward angle. It snapped just beneath the knee, like a tree branch in a thunderstorm. It sticks out sickly, uncanny, and unnatural to the right. Much too far to the right. Is my bone piercing through my skin? Feels like it. It hurts. I didn't realize just how much it hurt, but But that's because I didn't realize it was broken so badly. Not until I saw it with my own eyes. But that doesn't make any sense. Why didn't it hurt before? Even if I couldn't see it, I should have been able to feel it. Well, let me explain something. The body is a funny thing. Sometimes if it happens so fast, you don't feel it. Sometimes you don't feel pain until you actually see the injury. So it's, you know, your brain sometimes misses a signal. It can happen. It often happens. Maybe it was the shock of being in such a strange environment. Or maybe it wasn't broken before I examined it. Well, shock has a tendency to override pain signals, so that might be a possibility. I wonder, idly, if some invisible force, a ghost or ghoul or phantom, took my leg between its spectral hands and split it in the millisecond it took for me to glance down. I don't know. No, maybe it was probably broken before you saw it? Because sometimes pain can be induced when you see an injury. I don't know anything. I bite my lower lip. My face is draining color. Probably look like a mushroom. How did that happen? How is any of this happening? I turn to the right, to the left. I'm in a square-shaped room. There are exits all around me, but with my broken leg, there's no way I can escape. I can see a recess further back, beyond an open door. There should be a stairwell there, but there isn't. There's nothing. The place where the stairs should be is completely empty. It's just a vast, yawning crevice. There are no stairs. Why are there no stairs? If I tried to shimmy my way down there, even without a broken leg, I think I'd end up broken in all sorts of other places upon landing. Ah, I see you're awake. Oh. There's a voice. It's low, but distinctly female. The voice echoes around the four walls of this drab, gray, mold-ridden room over and over again. You're awake? It's Vaughn. Awake. Awake. Sounds like an accusation. A shiver runs down my spine. The air in here is colder than liquid nitrogen. Took quite a while for you to come to, you poor baby. The woman's voice sounds concerned, but something about it sets my teeth on edge. I don't trust it. I don't trust her. Where is she? I can't see her. I search for the source of the mysterious voice and... Oh! The speaker is standing in front of me. She's kneeling just inches away, so her breath glides across my cheeks. At least it would if she wasn't wearing a mask. Where did she come from? I swear she wasn't here before. There was nobody. Just a voice. But voices can't exist on their own. That isn't possible. Am I going crazy? Ow. A sharp pain spikes through my leg. My brain was so overwhelmed by this bizarre situation I forgot for a few seconds. It was supposed to hurt. It hurts more than it did before. Human legs aren't supposed to bend like this. Not at 90-degree angles. How long have I been here? Does that really matter, sweetie? You're here now, and you're not going to leave. No? No, sorry. Oh, right. You might as well make yourself comfortable. You have no other choice. I can't tell, despite the mask, that this woman's pretty. Her eyes are striking, and her eyebrows are curved into two neat arches. Her eyebrows are pierced. Her nose is pierced too, and her ear. How can you see her nose? She's got a mask, remember? The lights in here are dim. Everything's dull and drab except for her. She's a rare, shiny object in a universe comprised of bland, repeating grays. She looks familiar. Of course she looks familiar. It's Vaughn. In fact, I think I recognize her. Are you Vaughn? My name doesn't matter. Her voice is a little muffled through the surgical mask, but I'm sure it's Vaughn. It looks like her, at least. But what is she doing here? I think my leg's broken. It would be, sweetie. Why? Why indeed? That is the question. Her eyes hardened. You shouldn't need to ask me that. The reason should be obvious. What do you mean? We thought if you were subjected to a sudden sharp shock, you might remember what it was you've done wrong. But I guess not. You really are hard-headed. Or maybe you're incapable of feeling real remorse. I'm sorry. I try to keep my voice calm, even though sweat's starting to bead on my forehead. My legs doesn't just ache. It doesn't just hurt. It sears. I'm sorry if I did something wrong. I swear. I didn't mean to. Those are pretty words, yes, but I can't trust them. But why not? How can I accept an apology when you don't understand why you're apologizing in the first place? But that's just my opinion. What does everybody else think? The girl who looks like Vaughn, but may or may not be Vaughn, turns her head. She gesturing towards an audience? That can't be. We're the only ones here. Aren't we? That's what I thought. That's what I thought, but we're not alone. We're not alone at all. The edges of the room are crammed with people. They surround me in a circle. There are so many people I can't even see the walls anymore. It's like they've eaten the landscape around me. Termites. There's so many people, calling them a mere crowd doesn't begin to cover it. Doesn't give any sense of scale. Most of the people in the crowd are strangers. They're so strange to me, alien in fact, that I can't tell if they have eyes or ears or nose. There are a few faces, however, that I recognize. Jazz, Susie, Mom and Dad. Why are they all standing there watching? I try to call out to them, but I can't. The words snag in my throat. Feels like my vocal cords have been cut clean in two. By a spectral pair of scissors, perhaps. I can't make so much as a squeak. My legs hurt. It hurts so badly I can hardly think, can hardly even feel. Everything is obliterated by pain. Pain fills my skull like a thick cloud of smog, a cloud of flies. Oh dear. Seems like you really have let everybody down, dear. Her fingers caress my cheek gently. Her nails are long and sharp enough to cause serious damage. She could gouge my eyes out with those nails so easily, and she wouldn't even break a sweat. I'm completely at her mercy. Nobody will defend me. Nobody wants to. They stand and watch in a circle, staring. They're all empty and soulless. Scarecrow people. Do they have any emotions in their hearts? Any care? Any compassion? Maybe I don't deserve it. Now, do you know what people do with witches? I'm a witch? I thought Vaughn was the witch. A self-proclaimed Wiccan. Listen, Wiccan is a religion based off from paganism. It doesn't necessarily mean you are a quote-unquote witch. I've read the books, but I don't know if this woman is Vaughn, just like I don't know whether the Jazz or the Susie or the Mum or the Dad in the crowd are really Jazz or Susie or Mum or Dad. Just like I don't know if I'm the real Lynne. Is this really my body? My smashed leg feels dull and heavy. I can't move it. I don't think it belongs to me anymore. I can't twitch the toes on my right foot. I can't twitch the toes on my left foot either. Witches get burned at the stake, right? That depends on the lore. Because some of them are waterboarded to death. But why? Haven't I been through enough? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. It'll be over soon. I know just how weak you are, how fragile, how easily broken. Her voice dips into a slow, sensuous whisper. But it wouldn't be fun if you passed out too quickly. What? You did something wrong, sweetie. Even if you don't remember it, we do. Look at all the people you've disappointed. All the people you've let down. She glances at the shadowy crowd. They stare at me, unblinking, their eyelids permanently open. Maybe they can't blink. Do they even have eyelids? All of a sudden, this idea sounds rather sensible. Why should people need eyelids here? They exist solely to judge me. Of course they would stare. Excuse me. I'll just call for my lovely assistant. The woman who looks like Vaughn claps her hands together. When she does, a girl steps forward from the crowd. I wonder who it is. She isn't a tall girl. Her presence is entirely average and unimposing. She's the polar opposite of the woman who reminds me of Vaughn. She's around my height. She has a similar face, too. The same cheeks, the same nose, the same mouth, even the same nostrils. But her leg isn't broken. She walks slowly without a limp, like she has all the time in the world. Her irises are brown, like mine, but they seem to stretch on forever and ever into infinity. I could be sucked up by her steady, steely gaze, like water down a drain. I know this girl. I know her only too well. She's there all the time whenever I'm asleep or awake. I can't escape from her. I can never escape. Give our guests a helping hand, dear. You know what to do. Lynne nods soundlessly and kneels down beside me. The woman who looks like Vaughn shuffles away, giving Lynne more space to perform whatever cruel ceremony she's supposed to conduct. Lynne reaches forward. She takes hold of both my cheeks with her hands. Her palms are cold. I shiver. Is she even alive? Her skin is so pale I'm beginning to wonder if there's any blood inside her. Maybe she doesn't have blood, but ice. That would explain why she's so cold to the touch. Her heart is a glacial lake, completely frozen over. I want to ask her why. Why are you doing this to me? Do you really hate me this much? Why do you hate me? How dare you hate me? How can you stand to make me suffer when I want to make you suffer much, much more? But I can't say any of those things. My throat is swollen. No sound comes out. Lynne parts her lips slowly. She sighs. Her sweet breath ruffles my fringe. There's something small and white, shaped like a perfect pearl, resting on the tip of her tongue. It looks like some kind of tablet. Medicine? But I don't have enough time to wonder. Lynne's fingers dig into my cheeks a little tighter, hard enough to hurt. Her nails rake against my unprotected flesh. And then she dips her head. Her lips presses against mine. I'm so surprised my eyes snap open wide. So do my lips. She slides her tongue inside my mouth, coiling it about mine, and deposits the strange alien pill inside me. It tastes strange. Everything here is strange. My head swims. My whole body hurts. It isn't just my leg. I feel like I'm being torn apart. I'm being stabbed with shards of glass over and over again. I whimper into Lynne's kiss. I don't want to swallow the tablet. I don't know what this strange medicine is, but I know I can't swallow it. I won't. But Lynne doesn't draw her mouth away from mine. Her mouth is a warm cavern filled with sticky saliva. She's consuming me, devouring me. I choke. Lynne shoves her tongue even deeper into my mouth. I find myself swallowing despite myself. The small tablet slides down my throat. Tears bead at the corner of my eyes. The piercing sensation threatens to split my body in two. It feels like I'm being ripped apart. I feel like I'm not even myself anymore. But was I ever myself to begin with? Maybe there's no girl called Lynne. This whole time I was just a copy, a fake. I can't breathe. I can't talk. I can't think. All I can do is hurt. The crowd around me starts buzzing excitedly. Lynne observes for a few moments before she draws away. It's like she can't bear to touch me. I can smell something in the air. It's a smoky, acrid smell. It's a smell of burning flesh falling from the bone. My skin is smoldering. My flesh is melting. The fat inside my body is bubbling. I'm hurting. I'm crying. I'm dying. My eyes start to turn to liquid inside their sockets. My eyes drip down my cheeks. Not that I have cheeks anymore. Slowly, like syrup, like the whites of an overcooked egg. My right leg doesn't hurt anymore. It's no longer attached to my body. I no longer have a body. But that's fine. Maybe this is what I wanted all along. Hey Lynne, it's been a while since I last saw you in your uniform. Yes. It's time to take the exam. Oh, hey Jazz. I give my sister an awkward smile. I don't want to smile awkwardly, of course. Who does? But after my dream last night, it's a little hard to act completely natural. You alright? You look kind of pale. I'm fine. I'll live. Heh, you sure? Jazz smirks and takes a bite out of her toast. It's smeared with strawberry jam. The bright red against the brown toast makes me think, not of blood, but something far more sinister. Charred flesh. The thick smell of freshly toasted bread that lingers in the kitchen doesn't help. Here's a top tip from a girl who failed all her GCSEs. Don't pass out in the exam hall. I won't. That's what they all say. But there's always one kid who passes out every year. Always. Is that true? I mean, it happened in my school year. There was a kid who passed out in the math exams. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was pretty funny, honestly. I think Jazz is trying to lighten the mood, but she's not exactly filling me with confidence. Funny thing is, he wasn't a stupid kid, not like me. He was smart. He studied a lot. Maybe that's why. Jazz ponders. Her lips are encrusted with a fine film of toast crumbs. Maybe smart kids put too much pressure on themselves, and they don't do as well as they want. They freak out. As for me, Jazz shrugs. She smiles. I know I was gonna fail everything, so I never really bothered. It didn't seem like there was any point in worrying. Even though Dad kept pushing you, even so, I know what my limits are. Maybe you just didn't try hard enough. I didn't try at all. You shouldn't sound so cheerful about it. I know. Pisses Dad off too. I can see why, but, well, Dad works in construction. Mom works at checkout. We don't come from a smart family. I'm not a smart girl. I have no illusions of greatness. That's why Dad wants us to succeed. Well, I'm plenty happy living my life without accounting to anything, thank you very much. But what about society? Society? What have they done for me recently? And Jazz laughs. Fuck it all, it doesn't matter. Jazz sounds proud. She sounds proud about everything. Even the things she probably shouldn't be proud about. Dad tells Jazz she should be ashamed of herself. Why should she be ashamed of herself? She's doing exactly what she wants. She isn't though. Jazz is stronger than that. Jazz always says that she doesn't have a single ounce of shame in her body. Maybe that's a good thing. It means she doesn't have to worry. Not like me. I worry about everything. You can drop the ball on this one, Lynne. You can't drop the ball on this one, Lynne. Go and make Dad proud. and don't pass out. FYI, that kind of fucks up your chances. I'll keep that in mind. I peer into the bread bin, even though I don't want any toast. I'm worried. If I have any breakfast, I'll throw up on the train. Vomiting over a young child would be far, far worse than knocking into them with my school bag. Doesn't matter anyway. There are only crusts left. Alright, you may pick up your pens and open your papers. Your exam has now begun. A flurry of noise surrounds me. Hundreds. I think there are around 200 kids in my year of maths exam papers are opened up and smoothed out by manicured fingers and bitten nails alike. I'm a little slower to start than the rest of my peers. I jolt. It feels like a screwdriver has been inserted into the base of my neck. What am I doing? I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting here, staring dumbly at the clock mounted on the wall. Our school is a little outdated. We do our exams in this old gym hall that hasn't been refurbished since 1980. Smells of dust and old sweat. The windows are small and high up. They only let the barest minimum of light. I feel like I'm in a prison. A prison filled with rows upon rows of desks and chairs, with over 200 teen boys and girls poring over their math exam paper. I was entered for the higher tier paper. I should have been doing foundation. My teacher had too many expectations. I think he was spurred on by my dad's fervent insistences during parents' evening that I'm the smart one in the family. Sometimes, in a few of the practice papers I did in class, I managed to get B's. Sometimes meaning once. The rest of the time, I got C's or D's. Susie's is the second set for math, and I thought she hardly ever studies. She's never received anything less than a B. Life isn't fair. Speaking of Susie, her last name is Hastings. She's sitting a couple of seats in front of me. I can see her brown pigtails bouncing as she peers through her booklet. Her pen, overly cute and pale pink, glints beneath the dim lights. She's writing. Only 5 minutes have elapsed, but it looks like she's finished the first couple of pages already. Ahem. One of the invigilators clears his throat. I shift, suddenly guilty. The invisible screwdriver applies even greater pressure to the base of my neck. Does it look like I'm cheating? I hope it doesn't look like I'm cheating. I open out my exam booklet and stare. Random groups of numbers stare back at me, broken up with dotted lines for me to write down my answers. I had to pick up my pen. I had to gather my senses. I had to start writing, but I can't. My brain freezes. The questions near the beginning of the exam paper aren't even that difficult. I've never had any issues with these before. Find the perimeter of this shape. What is the circumference of the circle? Plot the line of best fit. It's not hard. I've answered questions like these before, but I can't now. For some reason, nothing makes sense anymore. My breath catches in my chest. The whole world around me spins. I feel like I might fall from my chair, but the act of falling requires too much energy. All I can do is slump. I press on. I press one hand against my chest. My fingers are shaking. I'm too anxious to even raise my hand. I don't think I could walk to the toilet even if I did get permission, which is unlikely. The head invigilator is pretty scary. I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to deal with any of this. God, but how disappointed will Dad be? They'll all be so disappointed that I turned out to be an idiot. The biggest idiot. 10 years of education, and for what? I'm wasting it. I can't believe I'm wasting everything. Susie's pale pink pen bobs. It catches in the light. When I squint, I can see the individual particles of dust swirling in the air. 10 minutes have gone by. I still haven't written anything. Everybody else is writing. I'm not. I can't. Why? I reach for my pen. My palms are slick with sweat. I bet Lynne's having no problems with this paper. She's in the highest setup for math. And though I've never seen any of her work, I'm sure she's a straight A student. She's just that sort of girl. I wonder where she is. I glance about the gym, surreptitiously, not because I want to cheat. I'm not brave enough for that. Because I'm curious. We're seated in alphabetical order. My last name is Harper. Lynne's is Acme. She'll be further ahead of me, maybe to the right. There. I can see her. She's pretty far away, but I can see her clearly. Her hair falls around her shoulders in shimmering waves. She pauses, her pen still poised in her right hand, and glances upward. Maybe she's staring out the window. Is she so confident in her own abilities that she doesn't need to focus on the exam paper? I shift and rub my thighs together. I'm sweating. Why is it so hot today? It must be because there are so many sweaty, stinking human bodies crammed together in this room. It didn't feel that hot when I was waiting for the train. Lukewarm more than anything. The nightmare surfaces into my mind once more, in alarmingly vivid detail. It gets clearer and clearer the more I will for it to go away, like the legs of a spider slowly emerging from a sinkhole. Lynne's hands against my cheeks, her lips against mine. The sudden intense burning, my eyes melting out of my skull. I draw in a sharp breath and grit my teeth together. I can't focus on my exam paper. It's all nonsense to me. Just numbers that have no meaning and blank spaces to show my working when I can't work anything out at all. I don't understand a thing. All I can do is stare at the back of Lynne's head. Half an hour has elapsed. Lynne is looking back down at her exam paper. Her slender fingers turn over a new page. Her motions are so casual they almost feel insulting. Is she trying to make me feel bad? No, probably not. I doubt she even knows I exist. My stomach turns. I hate her. I really, really hate that girl. If only she would disappear, then none of this would be happening. Everything would be so much better. She had never been born. I don't remember closing my exam booklet. I don't remember putting my pen down. I hardly even remember picking my pen up. I don't remember holding my exam booklet in the air for the invigilators to collect. I don't remember being dismissed from the exam hall. I don't remember collecting my bag from the back of the room. I don't remember exiting the school and making my way back to the train station. But I must have done, because I'm here now. I feel like a large part of my life has been wiped clean away. Did I talk to Susie? I'm sure I did. Or maybe she tried to talk to me. I don't remember. She probably wanted to compare answers. Not that she needs to. Susie's far, far smarter than I am. I have no advice to give her. No advice other than don't fuck up like I did. Not writing a single thing in your exam booklet will do that to you. Fuck you up, I mean. Oh well. It's too late to worry about that. The exam's over now. The whole time, I stared at the back of Lynne's head. I didn't answer any questions, not one. Dad's going to kill me. He's definitely going to kill me. He won't kill me right away, because he won't find out. But when my results come in, and he discovers I got a U on my maths exam, he'll flip his lid. He'll be so angry. And it's all my fault. I wonder if he'll be angrier than he was when he learned about Jazz's baby. Maybe. Failing one exam is potentially just as life-changing as having a baby. There's no way I'll be able to make up the grade in my second math paper. Even if I got full marks, I'd be lucky to scrape a passing grade. So it's over. I failed maths. And now I failed life too. I failed everyone. I'm a failure. But it isn't my fault. It isn't. I glanced at the electronics signboard, but I don't see it. All of a sudden, the station looks rather different. It isn't the same station I usually stand at, waiting for the train to take me back home. There are no pedestrians, no vending machines, no board displaying the next trains. Tracks are old and rusted. They're overgrown with moss and stinging nettles. Everything is dark gray and dreary. This place looks like it hasn't been used in a long time. It's derelict. All but deserted. I'm the only person here. Am I still in London? Am I dreaming? Maybe I'm still in the exam hall. Maybe I passed out during my exam. Is this another dream? But if it is a dream, then why does it feel so real? The air smells stale. The sky is dark gray. The clouds are light gray. The grass that grows upwards through the ground are black as pitch. The whole world begins to distort. I hold a hand against my eyes. They're burning. I'm burning. It's just like one of my dreams. Nightmares, I mean. I only ever seem to have nightmares. In this strange, bizarre, surreal world, anything could happen. Fish could swim in the air. Birds could fly in the water. The days could reverse, and tomorrow would be yesterday. There's no concept of time, but my heart continues to pound inside my chest and my lungs continue taking oxygen. A fine sheen of rain began to fall from the sky. It's almost like the world is crying. But that's far too poetic a notion for a young, stupid girl like me. Girls like me who can't answer a single question on their math GCSE paper don't deserve to think such fanciful things. I know I skipped a line because I was leaning and accidentally hit the keys twice. This train station, however, is certainly fanciful enough. Is this my own world? Am I the only person here? Excuse me. You're in my class, right? No. I'm not alone. Of course I'm not. Even in my own delusions, I can't be on my own. I can never be on my own. You're going back to Strawberry Hill, aren't you? Her inquiry is polite, but it makes me grit my teeth together. Feels like she's looking down on me. Do you know if any trains are running? This is also strange. There's nobody else here, so I was wondering if you knew what was going on. Why is she asking me this? Do I look like I would know? I don't know anything. Maybe behind her innocent facade, she's mocking me, just like everyone else. She's mocking me because I'm not her. I'm just me. Plain, boring Lynne. Not Lynne. She isn't me. Wish I was her. Or maybe she was me. That we were the same. But we're not. We can't be. Excuse me, Lynne? I don't think she ever addressed me before. Maybe that's why she sounds so hesitant. Or maybe it's because of the expression on my face. I don't know what my own face looks like, but it's probably quite scary. Lynne, are you by any chance feeling sick? I am sick. I'm sick of her. Lynne? She extends her arm out slowly. Is she going to touch me? My body shivers. I want her to touch me. But at the same time, I don't. I can't let her. So I take a step backwards. Disgusting. Excuse me? Didn't you hear? You're disgusting. I push her away hard. I push her so hard, in fact, she stumbles. Her eyes widen in surprise. Oh. She falls backwards. Her behind hits the ground with a soft thud. She blinks up at me, anxious and unsure and afraid. Yes, she should be afraid. I'm the one with the power here. I don't usually have power in my dreams, but I do now. It would be foolish if I did not use it, right? I kneel down, straddling Lynne's chest. My thighs pin her limp body at both sides. I need to block off her escape routes. Even if she tried to throw me off, I don't think she could. Her arms are white as chalk, skinny like twigs. She doesn't have enough power to push me away. I won't let her push me away. Lynne, why? Why should I need to answer her? I don't need to answer. Shut up. I slap her across the face. Her head jerks to one side with a sickening smack. For a few moments, I worry I might have shattered her skull. Is she really that fragile? Of course she is. I'm fragile too. Maybe all people are, to a certain extent. Even people like Dad. But I'm not the same as Lynne. We can't be. Lynne, why are you doing this? Lynne blinks at me. Her eyes are filled with tears. A dark, deep purplish bruise blossoms across her cheek like a rare flower. It's almost pretty. Not pretty enough. I want to hurt her more. Much, much more. I'm tired. I'm tired of being the one who gets hurt all the time. I slap her again and again and again. Each time her head jerks obliquely. She's so easy to play with and fun too, like a doll. She's an incredibly lifelike, life-size doll with teeth that rattle around her skull when I hit her. I know we're not close, but I didn't think you disliked me this much. Did I do something wrong? If you even have to ask, that shows you don't understand. What? You don't understand. You've never even tried to understand. But we've never even spoken. Her voice is muffled through her sobs. The sound makes my head hurt. The invisible screwdriver is back. It bores into the base of my neck with frightening precision. I need her to stop talking. How do I make her stop talking? That's enough. I don't want to hear your voice anymore. You need to atone. Atone for what? For what? Indeed. What did she do? She didn't do anything. But she needs to be punished. She's making me doubt myself. I can't do that. If I start to doubt myself, who else can I blame for my faults and flaws? I don't have anybody else I can take this out on. And nobody who will listen. Nobody who will understand. Doesn't make sense, even to me. Of course it doesn't make sense to her. That's why she can't talk. She absolutely, definitely can't. She talks too much. I'll start to realize how stupid this all was. I'll realize just how hollow and empty I am. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I've always hated you. But why? There's no reason. No logical reason anyways. It's because you look just like me. What? You look like me. You're better than me. Better in each and every way. Her name is even longer than mine. Lynne with an E. You'd earn more points if you played it on the Scrabble board. Not that names are allowed. It's against the rules to play names in Scrabble, strictly speaking. But that's never stopped Jazz before. Jazz has no shame. I have too much. Apparently, when I touch myself, I pull stupid faces. I'm an idiot schoolgirl who doesn't know what she's doing. But it doesn't really matter, because no man will ever find me attractive anyways. No woman either. What about Lynne? Bet she doesn't pull stupid faces. She's probably better at making herself feel good than I am. She'll beat me at everything simply by being alive. There's only one solution then. Disappear. Just disappear. Go away and go away. Go away, go away, go away. I grab hold of her shoulders tight. My fingers dig into her flesh. She whimpers. It's not enough. I slam her head against the cold, hard floor over and over again. I slam it hard, with more strength than I know I possess. Her skull cracks. Maybe it fractured. Maybe it breaks. Maybe holes are opening up inside her head, and her brains are starting to leak out. I wonder what brains look like. I've never seen them before. Are they gray? In biology books I saw when I was a kid, brains are always bright pink. I'm not stupid enough to believe that's really true. Just what is true anyway? Is this real? None of it feels very real. None of it. Except the 6 smacks of Lynne's head against the concrete floor. The water falls around me. It's almost like the sky is crying. Lynne is crying too. Her nose is running. Her pretty face is covered in red and blue and purple bruises. She's bleeding. She's leaking. And she's still alive. Her body twitches. Her breath forces its way out of her lungs slowly. In and out, in and out. She's so persistent. Just disappear. Go away. Leave me in peace. She doesn't know what happens to witches. That's right. She's a witch. She's a witch who's stolen what should be mine. Welcome, Raiders. How are you all? James Clark, what were you playing today? Thank you for that subscription, by the way. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You guys have fun? Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. Appreciate the raid. I'm actually at the end of this visual novel. How many of you have heard of this game? Well, you basically just click and read text. That's pretty much it. But it's a visual novel psychological horror game. Oh no, I knew I was going to finish it this stream. No, you don't have part 1 on there. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't say part 1 on my side. Well, so just for everybody who joined in on the raid, this is about a girl named Lynne. Now here's the confusing part. The title of the game, there's a girl named Lynne. Also, the protagonist of this story is also named Lynne. There's only one difference between the name, and that's the letter E. One doesn't have the E, the other one does. And they kind of look, well, she claims she looks like her. She just failed her exams. She had, throughout the entire game, I was building up her stress meter all the way to 100%, which is kind of the achievement for this game. The only achievement for this game. It's actually free on Steam. Yeah, so you don't have to pay any money to play this game. And it's all it is just a visual novel. As a matter of fact, if you don't want to actually download it, you can certainly watch the VOD when it's over. It's only a little over 3 hours. I have nothing. She has everything. That's fundamentally unfair. She deserves to be punished. Then, why? She looks at me. Her eyes are glassy. They swim with tears. She's so wet you could probably stick a goldfish or two in one of her eye sockets. I bet it would be able to bob along quite happily. That is, if goldfish are saltwater fish. I'm not sure. Goldfish or freshwater. I'm sorry about that, Lynne. I'm not smart. But I am smart enough to know the answer to her question. I have to hurt her. She has to suffer. That's just the way of the world. All because I'm not you. And I wrap my fingers around her throat. All right. That was Lynne. So, just to recap, the protagonist, Lynne, Lynn, she is stressed about so many things. Her father is abusive. Her sister bullies her. There is a girl named Lynne, which is kind of the heart of the story, that looks like her according to her, and is better than her according to her. And she has constant nightmares. And the goal, she's supposed to take an exam toward the end of this story, but she is unable to because Lynne completely stresses her out. And the combination of things that happen adds on to the stress. There's only so many things that a 15-year-old girl can do to relieve herself of stress. And without any way of knowing how to do that, her stress level just maxes right out. And as you can see, the result of what happened. This game deals with depression. She may be mildly schizophrenic. I'm not a professional to say that, but if you play the game or at least see the VOD, you kind of know where I'm coming from, where that, which is why the disclaimer was kind of like heavy. But, yeah, I do recommend checking this out if you haven't done so. It is free on Steam. And it's a very quick download. You can finish this game in 3 hours or less, depending on how fast you read. So, that's basically this game. And it's a straightforward read. There's a lot of things that happen here. Lynne overanalyzes things and stuff like that. She worries about a heck of a lot of stuff. Her sister Jasmine, they say she's dumb, but I think Jazz is probably the smartest person in this game. Aside from doing dumb things and making bad decisions. If you see her lifestyle, you kind of understand why she's in the position that she's in. So, Tuesday. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for Tuesday, since that is Halloween. I'd like to play Demonologist. If you're lurking or still in the stream there and you have Demonologist, reach out to me. I will give you my, I'll send a friend request to you so we can add each other, and we could probably play Demonologist. So, but if I don't get a team built up for Demonologist, I'll probably go back to Vampire Survivor. That's my backup plan. I've already played it like twice, and that's probably how I'm going to end out end it. I did finish up Amnesia, which I didn't expect to finish it up this year. But I'll be looking for more Amnesia games for next year. And I'll probably give the new Five Nights at Freddy's game, The Security Breach, a try. That's... Alright. So... let's go to the game. Alright. Let's see if there is anybody great. You know what? Let's go ahead and raid. Let's raid Raynex. She's playing Tower of Fantasy. We're going to be doing covert anvil raids since I'm leading this one. Alright, and I do appreciate the subscription, so peachy. Can you get the redirect set up? I don't have everything up. Alright, so give Raynex a like and a subscribe, and we are out.